Modern racing pigeon is quite different from the old racing pigeon. It's more an athlete and smaller, especially at the back. First thing you should look at is the shape. The bird should look like a pear, like I told you before. Normally it's smaller. The heads of the cocks are more hen-like than in the past. They had bigger heads. And the balance is very important. When I handle a bird, automatically the first thing I do is push the breastbone a little bit. If the beak opens, it's a poor bird, or it's in poor shape, poor health. Then check the balance, just 1 second if it has a good balance. Then open the wing. The flights, the last flights should be rounded here, not like a scissors, a little bit rounded. Yeah. And of course, these feathers should be on top of each other. This means it's good condition. When it is like this, it's bad condition. That's no condition. They should be on top of those small feathers. I advise not to clean the loft too much, but on one condition, it should be open. A loft that is too much closed, or that is humid, too much humidity, then you can't leave the droppings. So, very good ventilation, much air, and it should be dry, in combination with leaving the shit there. That's the best thing to do. All lofts of champions have a dry climate, but for the rest ventilation, one loft is closed, the other is open, but all lofts are dry. That's what they have in common. Scientifically, doctors say you should clean, hygiene is very important, but now some doctors change their mind. Yeah, I believe the greatest problem in today's racing is losses with young birds, the young bird diseases. Now already some fanciers also lose lots of birds, they quit. Do we have this problem now and not 30 years ago? Because we made the pigeons poorer, weaker, they lack natural resistance, immunity. And why is that? We over-medicated, the loft's too clean, but it's exactly in Germany where people overdo medicating. In no other country in the world do they medicate so much as in Germany, and in no other country in the world do they have so many problems with young birds. In Romania, they don't have the problem of young bird disease, but they don't have the antibiotics. Same in new pigeon countries like Portugal, young bird disease, they never heard about it. So I think we want to be successful, we used antibiotics, we want to win the races, and now we have to pay a price. When you have 40 babies and 2 are sick, it's a big mistake to medicate 40 babies. It's the same, I used to be a teacher. When 2 children or students had a headache, I didn't give all my students an aspirin, only the 2. 20 years ago and now, raced from 600 kilometers then, after 1 hour and a half, 1/3 of the bird was home, now 20 minutes. And that's not only because there are better birds, but also better systems. And better health, which is in most cases unnatural health, built up by antibiotics, so we abuse it. Birds are definitely better now than in the past, but also more vulnerable for diseases. But everything has its price.
Good pigeon that's motivated, that comes from a happy loft and has the love of home, will beat a super pigeon that has no motivation and comes from an unhappy loft. Pigeon's very territorial. Once a pigeon decides he wants to have that perch, he'll defend it with his life. And this is what a pigeon comes home to. this environment that he lives in.
Love for the territory is so important because pigeons are living are like us humans. We also love our home and animals and other birds, and pigeons are quite the same, and people should be more aware of that.
Another point that a lot of fanciers overlook is rest. Racing pigeons need rest. And a fancier whose pigeons aren't in condition and he decides to work them, take them training in his car day after day to bring that condition, most certainly won't get them into condition. And he'll be one of the easiest people to fly against on the race day. Cleaning 2-3 times a day disturbs the pigeons. They're not happy. I know it looks nice, but it's not that important.
If you're lying in the house at night, having a bit of a snooze or having a bit of a rest, somebody opened the door, banging the door, in and out, talking. You don't want anybody in and out at all. You want a relaxing time, don't you? Like, pigeons are the same, exactly the same. Need to relax and rest.
Health is very important, but the love of home is also very important. You can have health, but without the love of home, which creates the motivation in a pigeon, you don't get the results.
Fancier, no serious champion sells his best record bird unless he knows it's a poor breeder.
Now I think another point that people overlook, they go fancier, you go to an auction and you'll buy an important pigeon in the auction and spend a lot of money on it. You can liken it to going to the garden centre and buying one seed, one little seed, and plant it and hope you're going to get the perfect flower.
To found a new loft of pigeons, which I've had to do here, you know, I've had to do it twice well, 3 times actually in a lifetime. It's not necessarily a matter of going out and spending fortunes on top pigeons. I want just a pigeon with a name and a pedigree. I want it off something that's done the job and done the job what I'm looking for.
Pure strains of pigeons don't really exist anywhere at all, only in the magazines and books and in the back of people's minds. The big sellers with pigeons, they have all the so-called strains. But if you go to any of these strains and really examine them, or a top fancier that say this is strain, it comes from 3, 4 or even 5 different families.
Inbreeding and line breeding and all that, that's all nonsense. 90% of the superbirds are all crossings. But foreign people want inbreed, and I don't understand. We want good pigeons, and good pigeons are crossings.
You don't have to put 2 pigeons of the same strain together. You want good pigeons to good pigeons. All the main lofts in Belgium, the super lofts, do this. They don't have a strain. Nobody.
Countries like China, Taiwan and America, where they all have their own family and their own strain, that's such nonsense, and everybody here must laugh when they hear such a farmer say, I raise my Jansens, I have my Meulemans, I have, what we have is crossings. Sometimes I feel sorry for those people. How can they be so naive? Nobody has a family.
Gabby van der Bielen, one of the most talked about fanciers at this present time, he doesn't have a strain. He's got different pigeons from all over. But people, they must have a certain strain. And that, to me, that's where a lot of them go wrong.
And I said always, don't buy one pigeon. Go buy a fancier, and in the middle of the season or on the last season, September youngsters. And that's are the best.
When I go to the garden centre, I buy a packet of seeds. And for me, the best way to improve your loft is to go to a good fancier. Somebody that's winning, somebody that's got good pigeons. They don't have to cost thousands of pounds. And they most certainly won't if you go to a fancier.
I would actually go out and buy summer hatched youngsters for reasonable money of a good family and then start from there.
I would advise someone new in the sport to go to a small guy with super results and buy eggs there. Preferably in summer, then he doesn't need them for himself. That's the cheapest way.
Get my main racing system, just email me direct. I'm an experienced ex-pigeon racer from England, and I can offer valuable insights and guidance on all aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to racing. During my racing days, I managed a small team of no more than 70 pigeons, including stock, young birds, and old birds. It was not uncommon for me to send as few as 6 birds to a race and still secure the top 3 positions out of up to 2,500 pigeons in my club and federation. My race distances typically ranged up to 300 miles, and I consistently achieved top 5 placements in my club. My expertise extends to the art of selecting excellent breeders, including evaluating pigeons based on their eye sign characteristics. I firmly believe that true champions can only be bred from top quality stock, and I can guide you in identifying and acquiring such pigeons. I understand that many pigeons for sale are advertised based on their lineage or pedigree, but I emphasize the importance of assessing the bird itself rather than relying solely on paperwork. As part of my offer, I invite you to share photos of your pigeons, including their eye sign and wing characteristics. I'll provide you with free advice on racing and breeding based on my extensive experience and knowledge. Additionally, I will share auction links to high-quality breeding birds that have the potential to produce winners in your loft. Here's what you can expect to receive from me. A comprehensive Word document containing valuable insights and strategies for successful pigeon racing, including specific racing methods for both old and young birds, as well as general advice. Private YouTube videos sent to your email, covering various aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to race preparation. Detailed recommendations on supplements and additives to add to your pigeons' drinking water, with scientific evidence supporting their effectiveness. Similar products are used by professional athletes and racehorses to enhance performance. Assurance that your pigeons will race home faster, provided that you have quality birds to begin with.